Yeah, another thing is security. And this is one that balance thing, I think, often plays in. Because a lot of times, especially us guys, whenever we hear, emergency and we see, like, let's say Katrina, we saw all the bad stuff happen. We think, I need to go out and I need to get 10 guns and 20,000 rounds of ammo.
Yep.
And that's what I need to be prepared.
We talked about
this. Yep. And we didn't even talk to him about it. We talked about this.
Yep.
And I've seen it time and time again. They've got a lot of guns, which guns are great. I think we should all, if you can legally, you should have a gun.
Sure.
It's a great, important tool.
That's what
Safety is a big part of this.
Yeah.
In balance with other things.
Right.
A gun, no food, you've got a problem. It should be balanced.
Eventually somebody else is
you
going to
need
have your
cover
guns because you're not going to live long.
Absolutely.
Right.
So-
Or you're going to be tempted to
Do something stupid with it.
Yeah,
sure, to go out and try to take from somebody else.
Good
and
point.
Sure.
where you should have balanced it. You should
Right.
have go sell a couple of the guns, go sell some of the ammo.
And realistically, none of us are going to.
Sure.
We've talked about this.
Yep.
None of us are going to get into where we're going to have to shoot off 3,000 rounds.
Right.
More than
If
likely.
you do, it's a bad
You're going to have maybe
day.
some people trying to get through your back door. And
Sure.
You need your shotgun or whatever you're comfortable with for self-defense to get them out of your house.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what like you said, that's what people think of. When you think prepper, you automatically go to, I don't care who you are, you go to, the guy's got 55 guns and 25,000 rounds of ammo.
Yeah.
But they got food, they got ammo and guns, and that's it. That's what prepping is. That's
Yep.
the normal viewpoint of it. So,
Christina says, sounds familiar.
oh, come on.
Come
I'm
on.
like, I'm not even
Christina,
close to
you
that.
you need to elaborate on this
You're
a
gonna
little
have
bit.
to allow me some more money, honey, to go about 20,000 rounds. We're not even close to
Especially
that.
now.
Oh, especially now, $1 a round.
that's
$1 a bullet. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and on security, hardening your home and your car, not making yourself an easy target.
Okay.
Look at your home and think, okay, if I was a thief, how am I going to try to break into this house? And there's a few things you can do to make it much less attractive, and they go on down the street.
Right.
They go to the easier target. Same way with your car, don't leave your laptop sitting on the dash.
Right, especially in Warrensburg. Warrensburg Police Department tells you all the time that those jackwagons are going to come and take your stuff if you leave stuff in your car, so don't do it.
Yep.
Oh, I got to, Blake, great point, man. Great point. How about basic field dressing knowledge for food survival? Worst case scenario.
Sure.
great
Elaborate on
point.
that. Get us into that a little bit.
Well, I mean, and I'll stop, but I live up there not too far from James A. Reed. I mean, here in a week or two, the crappie are going to be hitting like crazy. I mean, it's not hard to grab a pole and run up there and
But what if you didn't grow up fishing? What if no one ever showed you how to do it?
Well, there's lots of books, and there's this thing called YouTube.
YouTube? Yeah, I've heard of that
on
place.
YouTube. And then
I've heard
So
of that
you
place.
have power and internet.
if you grab a pole and you throw a worm or something on it
Something will
in
bite.
spring, and you're going to get some crappies.
Yep.
You're going to catch some fish. Patience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Patience. I was thinking about earlier, I don't know if you're going to hit on it or not, talk about scripture, your scripture with this. I think about Joseph.
Yeah.
And I think about, like, ultimate prepper, other than Noah building an ark because something big's coming,
Yeah.
and because God said so. I think of Joseph, and Joseph, like, God gave him a game plan, and he took care of an entire nation and other nations just by saying, we're going to take this, we're going to hold this back, we're going to take this, we're going to use it. So like you said, being prepared for others is a big deal. I just can't think of all the things I've seen in Scripture that talk about preparing and talk about, being wise in your decision making and not making rash decisions. And if it wasn't for him preparing, he would have never seen his family again. Think of
Right.
that.
They all would have died out, and
All would
who
have died
knows
out.
what history would look like.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I like that community and being prepared not only for yourself but for others. It's good.
And you're passing
Very
it
good.
down to your kids, which is what they used to do.
Right.
I mean, this
Right.
is how you eat. This is how you hunt. This is how you fish.
Right.
Right.
And plus,
You and I talked about that, and we've talked about it a little bit. Like, again, I grew up in the city. I grew up playing sports, doing stuff, having fun, not hunting, not fishing, not, building fires, not any of that stuff. And so, like, since Logan is like 9 now, I've just had this desire, like, you need to start teaching him stuff that you were never taught. I'm like, why can't somebody teach me that stuff? I
Yeah.
can't teach it unless someone's showing me.
Some of it you learn as you go along, and
Yeah.
some of it you got guys around you that's
Yeah.
fished and done that kind of stuff. And
Yep.
Yeah, I've been
Just-
trying to teach my kids that. Like, ever since they were little, we butchered chickens together and stuff. Just 3
Right.
weeks ago, I think we butchered 45 chickens in one day.
Wow.
In the snow.
Uphill both ways, right?
Yeah.
Well, Blake said, and this is to Jonathan, man. He said, "You better get yourself a good country friend."
Man, I believe it or not, for being a city boy, God has sent me to a lot of really good country guys that I know if it ever got really bad, I've got community that, I'd be like, hey man, you got to show me how to do this, I don't know how to do it. And they would. So
That's awesome,
you're right, you got to
Blake.
get yourself a little country friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Mary, what's up? You're late. Come
Mary,
on now,
you
Mary.
are late,
But
Mary.
you're here.
Where
I
are you,
appreciate
Mary?
it. That's my
Just
daughter.
because it's your birthday, happy birthday to you.
It is her birthday.
Happy
Sing it, Jonathan.
birthday to you. Come on. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you. Is she 22?
Yes.
Yeah.
2. There you go.
There it is.
Yep. Thanks,
You're
Jonathan.
welcome, Mary.
You see, that's why he leads worship here.
That's right.
I preach, I don't sing.
That's right.
I let him sing because
Yeah. What
Very
else you
cool.
got for
What
us,
else you got,
Blake?
man? What else you got?
another aspect of this is medical.
Okay.
And you should put some stuff back because sometimes the medical system doesn't work.
True that.
We looked at a possible collapse of the medical system with the COVID thing that went
yeah.
through. We were all wondering what's going to happen here, and it's not just about getting a disease. It's also what if you break your leg in the middle of the disease, or what if you get something that's
They wouldn't admit you.
treatable at home?
They wouldn't admit you
Yeah, or
because it's not COVID related.
They send you home.
Yeah.
All those surgeries.
or what
that
if
were
you
put
get a
off.
cut? You could take
Super
care
glue.
of that at home.
Super glue.
Super glue. Learn how to stitch.
Or guys, if
Super
you're not
Super
married,
glue's my first choice. You know.
Yeah, if
I
you're
guess
not-
I should learn how to stitch.
if you're not married, guys, find a nurse. That's what I did.
Oh, I'm telling you.
That works.
telling you.
Wendy.
That's
I'm
right.
not that bad.
So,
So we
learn to
keep
stitch.
some
Okay.
basic medical supplies in cars and at home.
Okay.
We try to keep enough basic medicines. Maybe a lot of people don't know this, but the medical supply side of things has gotten really stressed through all this. It's still there are shortages on certain medicines
Okay.
because a
I
lot
didn't
of
know
it's
that.
I
been
didn't
know
realize
that.
that.
manufactured in China. They've kept it kind of quiet, but
Okay.
so having the basics and what you can get a hold of.
Okay.
So, another thing that people should have on hand, you guys know what this is?
That is a tourniquet.
Yes, tourniquet.
How do I use it? That's a tourniquet.
It's not very complicated. It
Right.
doesn't cost that much. I
Right.
bought 10 of them for about $5 a piece.
Okay.
If you have a major bleed, if you come up on a car crash,
Right.
cut yourself with a chainsaw, somebody gets shot or whatever, you can stop the bleeding in a limb.
Right. You're just cutting off the blood flow.
Right.
Right.
And-
That's a good point because if something happens, there will be guys out there that have never used a chainsaw, very limited knowledge on a
Yep.
chainsaw, and there's
Yep.
going to be accidents.
Yeah.
That's as an example. Or it could be they pick up a firearm and they don't have any experience with
Absolutely.
it. Practice. That's just maybe
Right.
try to find time to practice.
Right.
and
My
know
dad
a
is
little
retired law enforcement, and just with some recent stuff that was going on, he was like, "Have you done some dry runs?" I'm like, "No, should I?" He's like, "Yeah, you should." He's like, "You should walk through your stuff that you have, know how to use it, show your kids how to use it, so that it's routine. If something ever did happen, and you're not freaking out. You're already prepared for it. It's just
Yeah.
it's Tuesday. You know what I mean? So
It's smart. That's my family. I mean, my girls know if something goes down, they know exactly what to do. They know where to
Right.
grab what they need to grab. They know, Audrey's the littlest. She knows where to get to. That she's
Right.
out of the way and not in a line of fire, so to speak.
right,
Um,
that'd be a bad day. That'd be a really bad day.
it'd be
That
a
happened,
horrible
but-
thing. Horrible, but
It'd be a
we're-
worse day if you weren't ready.
right, and I mean, I got two big dogs. A boxer and a pitty and a pit boxer mix. I mean, you're going to have to get through a lot of stuff.
Right.
But and having those dogs, I want
Right.
to kill them some days, but
Right.
that's part for me anyway of security and,
Yeah.
and being prepared.
But you and I talked about a little bit today about it's less about bugging out and taking a small backpack and running, and more about having your homestead set up to where that is your bug out location. You ain't going nowhere because you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, even me in the subdivision, I don't plan on leaving unless there is no other option.
Correct.
That's where I'm at. That's my home. That's
Correct.
where my stuff is. That's where, right now I know best. But and there may be a time we have to
Right.
take off. But then we're talking about something totally.
I think
If you're bugging out, you need a place to bug out too. You need to just leaving to go somewhere random is not going to end well.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Lack
there's
of
not
preparedness.
enough stuff that you can haul in your backpack or in your car
Right.
to keep you very long. And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, chemical spill, yeah, you need to leave.
All right, we got some more comments. Mary
Okay.
says, she says, LOL, thank you, Jonathan. Fred, man, I wish you lived in our area too. We'd have a lot of fun fishing and catching up.
Somebody talked about Criminal Minds. I saw that.
Is it Janet? I know it's
Jeanette, that's my mom.
That's
Jeanette.
your
Oh, your
mom,
mom?
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
You got to shout out the mom.
There we go.
Hi,
See,
Mom. Hi, Dad.
he shouted out to his mom. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom's not watching, I don't
Fish antibiotics.
Yeah,
so-
for medical.
Yeah,
Right?
and medical stockpiles. You know, getting any prescription meds that you're on, getting some extras of those. That's a very good idea because, you know, even just routine stuff can get interrupted. Supplies may not come in. You know, I talked about shortages. There have been a number of people who had to substitute stuff that's similar, and you know, we could have a more serious interruption than that.
Right. So she said fish antibiotics.
Yeah.
And I get. Is there like certain ones, or like are there different? You know,
So-
like because to me when you say antibiotics, I'm like, okay, that's a pretty general term for, you know, what
Right.
brand, what actual medication, what's the dosage? Do you take twice as much because for fish? You
That
know?
information
It's on
is
YouTube?
available online. Well, it's on
On
YouTube.
There you go.
But most of the fish, but it can be other
Okay.
antibiotics for other animals. They're basically the same thing. They often come off the same supply line. They just change the labeling because
come on.
they don't have to go through as much inspection, and they sell it for fish.
Okay.
But it's the same stuff. They'll
Okay.
package human, then they'll package fish. And
We're getting
Isn't
duped.
that something?
and it's way cheaper. You don't have to have a prescription.
Right.
You just need to have a little bit of knowledge of, you know, what antibiotics to use for what.
to
and-
Right.
use. A couple comments, Christina. Christina says it's like Criminal Minds.
There we go.
I don't watch that. I hear Criminal Minds all the
Oh,
time.
we watch all the time.
I've never watched it.
I know.
The boy had a place to hide because Hodge told him before.
Oh yeah, there's an episode.
You know that?
Yep.
All right,
He
that
said if
episode.
anything ever happens, then this is the place that you go, and you don't come out until you hear my voice, type of thing.
Okay.
And yeah, and so like his, you know, the people he worked with kind of had an idea of where that was also,
Okay.
and they came in and Hodge was all messed up, and they knew where to go
I got
to
you.
find him. So yeah, even the little boy understood, like, you know,
Yeah.
be prepared. Like here's a game plan.
Gotcha.
We had that at my house with intruders. Like my boys and I, we've talked about different code words that if I ever yell this code word in the middle of the night, you know, like each one of these means a certain thing. Gopher, you know, gopher. Well, what's a gopher do? They dig deep, right? And so like find the lowest place you can, and you get on the ground and you go hide in the quickest place. Squirrel. Well, what do squirrels do? They run. And so I'm like, if I say squirrel, you run to my room, to your mommy,
Right.
you know, and you hide behind the bed. And even they know that, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
that's
their
basic
kids
stuff.
are smart, man. Kids are smart.
We got another comment. Fred says, calm, do not panic. Panic will cause stress and not thinking, and that will cause injury.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
And part of that is planning ahead of time, so you know, have an idea what you're going to do, and
Right.
you don't panic as much because you already know.
Cool.
Well, even if you think, or everybody out there, you think for a second, you know, I got 2 months worth of food, I got water, I got medicine, you know, right there should bring that calmness.
Oh, sure.
You know, so take it from thinking about it to actually doing it.
Right.
And getting ready to go.
A lot of people think that prepping is driven by fear,
Fear.
but I think prepping really is a very calming. It takes fear away. Having supplies put back and having enough to know that, you know, I have that reaction time. I'm not going to be standing in line the next day to get
So your reason for prepping. Yeah.
it gives me.
Well, you
some-
can wait it out
some ease.
until
Right.
things hopefully calm down and little, you know, order maybe is restored, or the you know, the storm gets past you,
Right.
or what have you. And then
As-
you can really focus on just your family.
As you said that, you know, I know it's a little out of context as far as perfect love casts out all fear. But at the same time, like as you said that, like why are you prepping? Well, you're prepping because you love your family, and you're prepping because you love your community.
Yep.
And so if you're doing it out of love, then you're right. It'll cast out all fear.
So what else you
what else you got,
there,
man? What
Mike?
else you
We're
got?
on, not that it matters, we're about
Right.
40 minutes or so.
Okay.
but
Yeah, 40 minutes.
Make sure we
We
hit what
aim
you-
for 30 minutes, guys. We always do. But you know.
Well, I think I have the most important prep, actually.
Okay, where?
Which is spiritual prep.
Okay.
You know, whatever happens, we don't know if
Right.
a tornado is going to come through.
Right.
We don't know if the house is going to burn down or you're
Okay.
going to need that food. But all of us are going to die someday unless the Lord comes back. And
Absolutely.
then we go and we meet our Maker.
That's right.
And what we did spiritually is what is ultimately going to decide where we spend eternity.
Right.
And, you know, fear not the one who can kill the body, but fear the one who can kill the,
Sure.
the spirit.
That's a
So-
great point, because no
Yeah.
matter all the prepping in the world, everybody still ends up dying.
Mhm.
You know, you may get an extra 6 months or 6 years,
Sure.
but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the number one thing that you're right, you want to build up is your faith.
Well, and I know that we have a lot of different people from different backgrounds, different beliefs. Some may say, I don't believe in God. Well, if you're watching us, you're going to hear a whole lot about him. And so
We all do.
we all do.
100%.
And it's not just
You know,
believing in God, it's having a relationship with him. So if you have any questions, let us know. Let any three of us know. You know what I mean?
Prayer requests too. We all
Absolutely,
sometimes
prayer
I forget to
requests.
say that. You know, put it on here. We've had people before.
Right.
We absolutely will read that, and
Okay.
we will pray if there's anything going on.
Very cool. Well, hey, before we get going, I've been looking at this thing next to me.
Right.
And to me, I'm like, is this a pogo stick? Is it a plunger? What is this thing? So not to get off the spiritual conversation, but I'm going to bring this
hand that thing over.
I'm going to bring this into view. And like I said, is it a pogo stick? Is it a...
This is
You
a
know.
prep that we have.
Okay.
This is used actually to do laundry, to wash clothes.
How?
If you don't have power, you can put them in a 5-gallon bucket with some water and soap,
Okay.
and then you plunge it up and down, and it has these holes. and
No
this
way.
Agitator.
Little thing, and it
Agitates,
moves
okay.
the water through the fabric
Okay.
and washes them, just like an agitator on a washing machine. So if you didn't have power, you can use it. Plus, you can wash multiple loads in the same water. Do one. That's
Okay.
one thing that they often do in third world countries, is you don't do a full set each time. Like, you don't wash
Okay.
one load and then rinse it and then rinse it and then rinse it.
Right.
You wash, you set those aside. You wash another batch, you set
Okay.
those aside. Saves a lot of water, saves a lot of soap.
I feel like there's some people looking at this going, yeah, it's Tuesday. You know, like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
super cool, man. Super cool.
There's all kinds of cool stuff out
Yeah.
there, and I'm seeing that more and learning more.
And then this is if you're camping or something.
Okay.
But also, if the power goes out, this is a solar shower.
Okay.
So you don't have any water pressure in the house.
Yep.
You want to clean up, you can,
Just fill the bag.
fill the bag, set it out in the sun, or you can put warm water in there, hang it up, and you can take a little shower. Showers take a lot less water than
Right.
baths do.
Okay.
I'll say
wipes is
this
another alternative.
Too, because you mentioned third world countries. You know, if you really want to see some stuff and how to do it, go on a mission trip.
Oh, man.
You know, like I've gone to Haiti and you see this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and you challenge yourself to do that. It changes the way you think.
Right. I think we're getting the time clock over here from
Yeah, we're pushing
the
it.
boss.
We're
and,
up 38 minutes.
You know,
40
but you know
minutes.
what? But she's right. There's, you know, we literally could go
I'm
all night
sorry,
long.
but Christina said, you need that, man, to do the laundry.
Come on,
That's
man.
what she said.
You couldn't say this was a plunger?
She said, that's cool. Jonathan needs that.
Man.
That's funny.
There
It
are-
just cost you money.
I know, man. There are times I'm like, I don't know how to use this thing, and now you just said, here. Just manually.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Your
Appreciate
washing
that.
machine broke. Here you
Appreciate
go.
that. We do have some other things on the table that we really haven't talked about. You know, we talked about food prep earlier, but you never brought this out.
Yeah.
This is another
MRE,
you know,
meal ready to eat.
right.
This isn't something I get a lot of. These last. They have a lot of calories. They're a little expensive for what you get, but
Right.
they are handy. Everything you need's here. You can just eat it cold. It's got a heater too if you want.
Right. I feel like we got a bunch of military guys going, yep,
Yeah.
eating my fair share of
So,
those.
For
Oh,
me,
sorry, guys.
it's always kind
I
of
moved-
fun
I
opening
moved
these
you.
up. It's kind of like a present every time. But I'm sure if you've spent, 2-3 months in a fire base eating
Sure.
these 3
Sure.
meals a day, you
A
hate
little
these
different.
things.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure.
Pam Wagner said, great show. Thank you. Thanks for watching, Pam. We appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Pam.
That means a lot. Thank you for commenting
Absolutely.
as well. So,
So, any
anything
last
else?
comments?
Yeah, any
comments?
last,
Last things to leave us with?
The one thing, we've talked a lot about stockpiling. Probably the most important thing you can stockpile is skills and knowledge in your brain.
knowledge. Somebody else said
Learn
earlier,
how to
knowledge
do
is power. Yep,
things.
very cool.
Yeah, and get books that teach you how to do things.
Okay.
I hear, you know what, don't make it stressful, make it fun. You know, get your family involved and
Right.
get them, you know, not in a scary way, especially for little kids,
Sure.
but like, you know, just make it, you know, make it fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, I think I'm out of words. Are you out of words?
I could probably talk for days, but
Yeah, we
Talk
can
for
we better
days.
stop. You know,
Okay.
we'll do a part 2.
We will, and you know what?
At some point.
We're going to not only do a part 2 with the Neil's Homestead, but we're going to go out to the Neil's Homestead, right? Mm-hmm. And we won't tell you where the location is, but we're going to go out there and we'll do a part 2.
Yeah.
And how about actually seeing some of this stuff in action? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fun.
Teach this city boy, you know, some country ways. So
we'll catch you a
Make
fish.
sure, Miss
there
Blake.
we go. Yeah, we'll catch me a fish or something.
You're welcome, Blake, man. Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Yeah,
God bless
thanks,
you, man.
Blake. So, all right, guys. Well,
That's it.
I think that's it for the night. Until next time, I'm Jonathan,
I'm Dale.
I'm Jeremiah.
and you're watching
Straight Up Guy Talk.
All right, God bless, guys.
God
Thanks
bless
for joining
you
us.
guys.